And welcome to the second session of day 14. I am back from being on a real stage with real people and I'm back in the virtual universe that is VID21. So thanks for joining us this afternoon. If you are new to VID or this is your first session, welcome. If you are coming back, welcome back. We are joined by the wonderful Luke Fenwick. Luke made a significant career change from working in high-paying corporate roles in places such as Moet, Hennessy and the Melbourne United Basketball Club. He walked away due to fear of what he was becoming, in essence, not the best person, husband or father he could be. After putting his life and goals into perspective, he is now a life impact coach, looking to help 1 million people by 2025 create a fulfilling legacy no matter their beginning. And Luke, I love this topic. I like that you are doing this, even though your heavily pregnant wife might be about to give birth or might be going into labor. So fingers crossed you can hold it together for the next 45 minutes. And glad we got that on recording so you can show your future child, you know, exactly what was happening moments before they arrived. So thanks everyone for joining. I'm going to hand over to you, Luke.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julia. I appreciate that. And yeah, I hope we do make it through the session. It would be a bit awkward otherwise. So thank you so much for taking the opportunity to sit down and listen to my presentation today, whether or not it's live or sitting there listening to the recording, whenever that might be. So as Julia said, my name is Luke Fenwick. I'm a life impact coach. What do I do with people? I help them forge new beliefs and life habits in order to create fulfilling legacies. That is what I do. My vision is to impact 1 million lives by 2025, but I need your help. If you're sitting there today and you know someone in your life that needs a little direction, a few tips, or is just a little bit lost, it might be you, it might be a loved one. If you find 1 or 2 things today, I'd value you taking the opportunity and sharing that with them. As much as I'm looking to impact 1 million lives by 2025, if you can impact 1 life, then that's an amazing step in the right direction. So for us, we're here to talk about new beliefs and life habits. We are absolutely here to talk about our legacy. So when we talk about legacy, or when I talk about legacy with clients, I say it's the places you go, the people you meet. It's the fingerprint you leave on the world when you're gone. It's the entire story. It's every single page, every single day. It's how you live, it's how you love, it's how you care, and it's certainly how you share your experiences along the way. Many years ago, a legacy was about financial. It was about leaving a car, a house, or something along those lines. But certainly, I think our legacy is so much more. It is the lessons we give and the opportunity we provide to those around us. So if I can, I'd love to start with a little bit of my backstory. What is past is certainly prologue. And absolutely, if it wasn't for that then there wouldn't be this now. So a few stops ago, before becoming a life coach, I worked at LVMH, so Louis Vuitton, Moet, Hennessy. So some of you might have heard of Louis Vuitton in regards to the fashion label. Some people might have heard of Moet Hennessy in regards to the alcohol side of things, which is where I worked. So Moet and Chandon, Veuve Clicquot, Dom Perignon, these amazing brands. My life, I was fortunate enough to do amazing things. Up the top there's a photo with Roger Federer at a Moet and Chandon event. I traveled the world. I went to amazing places. I ate in beautiful restaurants, did awesome things. My life and habits at that point in time were about what was the next thing I could achieve at work. What was the next promotion? What was the next pay rise? That's what I was concerned about. I left LVMH and then went to Melbourne United, where I had passion and I had purpose. My passion was the sport of basketball, and you can see us down the bottom corner here. The passion was the sport. I loved the sport. I played as a kid, still play as an adult. For me, it was about giving back. which was the purpose. My purpose was, how do I make the sport into what I envisaged it could be? How do I give back so the mums and the dads and the kids sitting in the stands could enjoy that sport? So every single day, my habits were geared towards moving forward with the sport. I then left Melbourne United and went to MKTG, which was either the worst decision of my life or the best decision of my life, depending on which way you look at it. So MKTG, a big global marketing agency. And soon after moving to MKTG, I had a big crash or a big kind of breakdown. So if you want to picture what this big breakdown is, for about 6 months, every morning I'd wake up at 4 a.m., body churning, adrenaline pumping, full of anxiety of the day that was ahead of me. I was a square peg in a round hole and not fitting in the organization and was causing massive issues for me. I had gone there and not approached it with a habit of being a novice and how I could learn and give all I could be, and it created problems. So I was waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. By the time I'd go into my little boy's room to get him up at 7 o'clock to take him downstairs for his milk, my legs were wobbly. I was just absolutely in pieces. But the big crash or the big breakdown led to a breakthrough. And the breakthrough gave me clarity, honesty, and a priority. It gave me clarity in regards to the habits and the things that I was focusing on for so long were unaligned with where I was in life. It gave me honesty in regards to the things that I had not done in the way I should have. And it gave me honesty in regards to what I wanted life to be. And it absolutely gave me priorities in regards to what I needed to change. For what mattered most was my wife and my boy. And for me at the time, I wasn't being the best dad, the best husband, or the best person I could be. My focus for so long was on a financial reason. It was on a work piece. It wasn't about being the best human I could be. And I had this realization that I was so unaligned with what mattered. So I needed to change my focus, and I absolutely needed to change my habits. So not long after having a conversation with my wife in regards to, I was just not cutting it. I wasn't cutting it as the person I should have been. I made the decision to walk away from a high-paying corporate role that was paying me hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And from the dark came the light and a vision of what could be. Home, work, life all needed to change. For home, I needed to be present. I needed to be giving. I needed to be caring. All of the things that I'd slowly moved away from as the pressure of work got in the way. For work, I wanted to find something different. I wanted to find a way I could impact the world around me. I looked at my boy each and every day and I was thinking to myself, how can I give more and be more to make changes so the world is in a better place when he gets older? And for me, it was, how does this all tie together to become an amazing life? So that's when Dawn of Legacy, the life impact coaching began, and my quest to impact a million lives by 2025. Dawn, my mother's middle name, she passed away a number of years ago, so it was a bit of a nod to her. And Dawn is about rebirth. It's a renew and an opportunity. And legacy is absolutely about the story that we are writing today. So when I talk to clients, it's about starting a new story and your new legacy. And that's what I'm focused on every single day. My habits and my beliefs are geared towards making the change for people and the million connections I wish to make over these next few years. So then I moved into being a life coach, and I saw this amazing quote and it really resonated with me, and it's by Marie Forleo. She says, our beliefs create our thoughts, and our thoughts create our feelings, and our feelings create our behavior, and our behaviors create our results. And if we can handle our beliefs, then everything changes. And when I first saw this, I'm like, that is absolutely what it's all about. And this is what I want to focus on as a coach. But there's more to it. And the more I spend time with people, the more I dig in and the more I reflect back at the last 20 years of working with people in my corporate world, I understand action will create your emotion. And I'll say that again because it is key. action will create your emotion. So if you're sitting at home now on the couch or sitting in your home office or wherever it might be watching this and you're not feeling in a good spot, it's not about thinking through it and getting out of it. It's about creating action to move yourself forward. And I'd love to share with you some actionable actions that you can have in your life for you or possibly give to someone else. But I'd love to start with, where are you right now? And absolutely starting to figure out what is happening in your life. And I'd love for you to ask yourself these questions. What am I most proud of in life? What am I passionate about? What do I wish I'd always done? How can I better nurture the life I want to create? What is possible in my life? What is the one thing I'll achieve by the end of this year that gets me excited? What is one thing I'll do tomorrow to get started on this? And what do I want them to say when I'm gone? And then I want you to reflect. The habits that you have now and that story that you are creating, is that leading you to the path where you're going to be happy of what they say about you when you're gone? Are you on the right path right now? It's important that you're clear in your own mind. Are you in that right direction? Once you're clear on that, I'd love to share this exercise with you that I give to all my clients, and it's called Thrive, Survive, and Crash Dive. So over the course of the next 2 weeks, I'd love for you to write down in a journal or a piece of paper or whatnot, the things that do this to you in your life. So these are people, places, emotions. What makes you thrive? So it gives you amazing energy, it makes you feel fantastic, the zest. This is what life is all about. What fits into those thriving moments? I then want you to write down, what are those surviving moments in your life? Now, some people say work, fair enough. Some people say that healthy eating is surviving. Some people say going for a run in the morning is surviving. Whatever it is that is absolute, the building blocks of your life, make sure you're writing those down and clear that they exist. And then, what are the crash dive moments in your life? So for example, what are the people, emotions, feelings, or places that take the energy and enthusiasm away from you? They take the focus and time away from those thriving moments in your life. So over these next few weeks, write down thrive, survive, and crash dive, and find your path. Understand what serves you well and what does not serve you well, and be crystal clear on these things. And then important, it's to understand what is the trigger, the action, and then the impact on these things that happen in your life. So when they occur, what is triggering it? What is then the following action? And then what is the impact? And what I mean by impact is, how is that having a knock-on effect in what's going on in your life? So for example, you might get angry and frustrated. The action is you lash out at people around you. The impact is it's impacting the relationships in your life. When you can see the powerful reason why, then you can dig in and you have a motivation to make changes in your life. But importantly is to look at the root cause. So understanding what that trigger is and then going backwards from there. And you can do the same thing in regards to the positivity as well. What is creating the positive moments in your life? Where are those triggers coming in? What is the action and the impact? Because those things will drive you forward later. But clarity is key, but thoughts alone serve you no purpose. And we've all been in one of those rabbit warrens, where we're sitting on the couch and we're watching YouTube and positive messages and videos and whatnot. And that's absolutely fantastic. And certainly what's been happening as part of the conference is positive messages and how to move forward. But those thoughts of clarity serve you no purpose without action. So it's important to put actions into place. So the choice to make change sits with you. It sits with no one else. You have the power and the opportunity to make change in your life. And I'd love to talk to you about how. So did you know they say that nearly 50% of the things we do each day are habitual? So I want you to ask yourself, where is your autopilot taking you? Is your autopilot taking you to a destination where in 10, 20, or 30 years, you get off that plane and say, this is the life that I thought I was creating. This is a legacy I wanted to write. Or is your autopilot and the habits that you have right now taking you to a destination when you get off, you're going to want to get back on that plane, go back in time and restart 20 years ago? Think about it. Where is your autopilot taking you to? I want you to look at your choices not as a sacrifice, a punishment, or a chore. They are an opportunity for greatness. They are a stepping stone to achievements. They are your chance to rewrite your legacy and head in the right direction and correct that autopilot. Your choices belong to you and you alone. Creating a powerful headline statement is something that I get all of my clients to do. And what do I mean by headline statement? It is the style of life that you want to live. This is not a singular goal. Goals are fantastic, but that is like a signpost along the way. So when I talk about a headline statement, if you say that you want your life to be full of care, love, give, knowledge, then that is what your headline statement is. I wish to live a life of caring, knowledge, giving. Maybe passion is in there as well. If you're sitting down with someone that you've never met before and they say to you, what is life about? What are you trying to do? When you tell them your headline statement, they know exactly what you're trying to do. It is a way of life. It's not a singular goal, and it builds and builds and builds over time. So be clear on what that headline statement is. And then it's about forging boundaries and non-negotiables in your life. Be clear on the boundaries that you want to put in place. What time will work impact on you? How will you spend time with your family? What is going to keep that ring of life happening for you? And what are the non-negotiables? Non-negotiables, I will eat healthy. I will speak positively. I will always work out every single day. I will spend time to improve my knowledge. What are the non-negotiables that must exist in your life? And then change the word from should to must. 80% of the people I sit down with as a life impact coach are always talking at the start of our sessions, I should do this. I should find time. I should make the effort. Change the word from should to must. I must take time. I must make the effort, because must eventually turns to I have made time. And then you're living the life that you wish to live. And formations occur when these four things come together. It's absolutely about having reminders. A reminder can be a prompt on your phone. It can be a sticky note on the wall. It can be something stuck in your car or on your desk. The required skill. Do you have the ability in your mind to do the things that you're wishing to do? Who do you need to bring into your life to help you with that skill? Where is that gap? What is the motivation you need to continue to work on those habits? Ideally, it's internally, but sometimes it's externally. Sometimes that motivation is the people around us that drive us forward. And importantly, it is a reward. Whenever you are achieving a small step, and sometimes a small step is figuring out that you need to make some changes to your habits, celebrate that reward. Write it down in a journal, tell your friends about it. Find the song that pumps you up and play it so loud that neighbors ask you to turn it down. Let's celebrate that reward along the way. It is absolute key, and it is the only way forward. The power of one habit impacts into another, and over time, that is what creates your legacy. It is the habits that you do each and every day that writes your story. So take the time to figure out what those habits should be. Take the time for them to impact your life. And I'll give you a challenge to do. Over these next few weeks, you've got your headline statement, you've got your boundaries and your non-negotiables. Write down 5 easy to do habits that will lead you to your headline statement. Write down 3 medium, slightly harder to do habits that will lead you to that statement. And then 2 hard habits that will lead you to that statement. Then over the course of the next 5 or 6 weeks, introduce an easy habit each week, then introduce blocks of each of the medium, and then the last 2 weeks, introduce the hard habits. And then at the end of that period, you've got 10 habits leading you to your headline statement. Celebrate along the way, lock them in, and be clear on where you're going. Priority versus task. Coming from a big corporate world, it's amazing how many people, when I talk to now, aren't clear on the priorities of life versus the task. Often, their priorities are someone else's tasks that have been given to them. So figure out, what am I trying to achieve today? What am I trying to achieve this week or this month? What is the absolute priority? And when can these tasks get moved? And who or what is keeping you in your box right now? Who is the person that's actually keeping you in a position that you don't want to be in, via them giving you the tasks or their priorities to do? If you want to break out of that glass shell, you need to focus on your priorities and be clear moving forward. But be mindful, your mind might not be your friend. So this is my little boy, 2.5. He gets up in the morning and he goes downstairs and he plays with his calculators because he wants to learn math. And he starts his day out in a positive way. But remember, the brain has 3 jobs. It controls your behaviors, enables you to breathe and move. It perceives the world around you, and it is always on. It enables you to plan, decide, and imagine. So he starts out this fantastic vision in mind. But let's be quite honest, life is not always about that. Sometimes we want to go jump in puddles. Sometimes we want to just dress up like Elton John. And sometimes the emotion of what's going on around us becomes too much. So be careful on what you wish for. If you want to change, I want you to remember these things. Stay light, stay loose, and give it everything you've got. Just like a kid's approach to learning, there is no failure. Get lost in the process. And if it was one of the biggest lessons I learned from my time at MKTG, is I was so worried about failure, it clouded my mind. I didn't get lost in the process of learning. I went in there thinking I knew it all, and it tripped me up. So it doesn't matter if you fail, give it a go and get lost in that process. Sign up for every single bump in the road, the bumps, the scratches, the knocks, and do what makes you feel successful, but importantly ties into your legacy, because eating ice cream can feel good, but if it's not leading to your legacy, is it something that you should be doing? Bend, but don't break. Be mindful of what your comfort zone is and look to push past that every single day. Your mind will want to take you back to the status quo. Find something each week that scares you and challenges you. And that's the way to push outside your boundaries. Don't be afraid. Don't be worried of failure. Embrace the opportunity. Think of where you can get to further down the track. And what's next? So at this point in time, you're clear, idea on where you are in life. You start to create your headline statement. You've got boundaries and non-negotiables, the formation of habits and task and priority. And I know there's a lot there, but what's next? And it's about having love in the heart. When we love, we always strive to become better than we are. When we strive, we become better than we are. Everything around us becomes better too. So I want you, as you go through this change, to celebrate and reward yourself. Momentum comes from behavior and progress and celebration, no matter how small it is. Reward and gratitude will drive you forward. Love, grace, and care in every single moment will give you momentum. So love in your heart, love what you do, and remember to celebrate and reward yourself along the way. This moment and every moment about your legacy is simply about the power of you, the habits you choose to embrace, the beliefs that you have in your mind. Become your own hero, become the controller of your story, and drive your destiny forward. And I'll leave you with one last thing. All you have, all you are, all that you do, everything is born from within your dreams. So hold on to your dreams. Remember them tonight before you go to bed. And when you get up in the morning, figure out what comes next. What is that one step you can take tomorrow to get you closer to that dream? What is that one habit you can form that will move you further to the legacy you wish to create? I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate everybody is very busy during these times. If anybody wants to connect, my email is there, coach@lukefenwick.com. You can head to the website, lukefenwick.com. I'm on Instagram and LinkedIn. If you do connect, I have a new podcast that's just started called Two Dads, a coaching conversation on life, where we talk about all things about life from the perspective of two dads. I have a newsletter that goes out every 4 to 6 weeks and lots of blog content as well. But thank you so much for your time. I'm looking to impact 1 million lives by 2025. Hopefully I've made some small impact in yours, and I'd love if you could share my story. So thank you so much. I'll hand it back over to Julia.